Could you take roll? Could you take roll and establish a quorum, please?
Yes, Chair Waldman. When I call your name, please indicate that you're present. Chair Waldman,
Here?
Commission Member Corrigan,
Present.
Commission Member Couture,
Here.
Commissioner Janjigian,
Here.
perfect. And then Commissioner Moore,
Here.
Oh yeah, her internet sucks.
perfect. I heard you, Commissioner Moore, and then Commissioner Tasic.
Present. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yes.
you, Jenna.
Okay. And it looks like everyone is present except Commissioner Tasic.
Correct. Before we start, Anthony, because you are here, because John is not here, do you want to just give a brief introduction of yourself?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I think I've met some of you before. I'm Anthony Carnesecca, our Economic Development Administrator for the City of Los Altos. I do a wide variety of things, business development, policy matters, whatever is asked of me. I'm happy to participate. So today I'm helping out replacing John, and I'll just be taking notes. And if you have any questions, I may refer to John for a future meeting. So I apologize in advance if that's my answer.
Perfect.
Thank you.
No, we're just glad you're here.
Yeah, we are. Thank you.
Okay. I would normally ask for public comments on items not on the agenda, but I don't believe we have anyone from the public here, do we? I don't see anyone.
Does not look like it.
Okay, so I am going to skip that, but make a note that I did mention it. Agenda item number 1, minutes. Approve the meeting minutes for the August 25th, 2022 meeting.
Hereby moved.
Second.
All right, Anthony?
All right, Chair Waldman,
Yes, I approve.
perfect. Commissioner Couture,
Yes, please.
okay. Commissioner Janjigian,
Yes.
Commissioner Corrigan,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
perfect. It passes unanimously.
Okay, and I'm just going to go through these items without asking for public comment unless we see someone from the public pop up.
I'll watch for that, Monica.
Item number 2, community outreach for the farmers market. Anthony, do you have some pictures to show or no?
I only have the report from John that was in the agenda.
Okay. Okay.
Waldman, if you want, I might be able to present them. I've got them.
Okay, I'm going to hand things off to Janet to show some photos and then we can, I think we're all here except for Jenna, and then I'll do a quick debriefing, and anything I miss, my other commissioners will correct me if needed.
And you should have. the
Janet,
agenda.
you want to share your screen?
Okay, I will do that right now. I also have some pictures on my phone if you want them. Okay, I'll just go through these, and I don't know, Monica, if you want to introduce them, I'll just show them.
Okay.
Right.
So the Public Arts Commission had commissioned Eric Nealand, who teaches screen printing up at Foothill College and also has his own company that does t-shirts and all sorts of screen printing. Do a specially commissioned logo for, it's not really a logo, but a picture for the city of Los Altos. And Janet was kind enough to take some much better photos than I took. And you can see here's Eric working with some people who came by, and he allowed people to actually do the screen printing, and it was so hot, it was 106 degrees And Eric's got a wet towel over his head trying to stay cool.
Let's see, we have another photo.
One note that was really cute is two little girls who had done screen printing went and got him a snow cone and brought it back.
Aw.
That was very, very sweet of them.
Yeah. Another one, and then I have one more. The same one. There you go. I mean, if I can add, I just think it was very, very popular, notwithstanding the heat. So,
And I think if we decide next year to do a farmer's market booth, I think it would be a good idea to have an artist to try and draw people in. Oh, okay, Terry's
trying to
trying to
figure
show us.
Well, it doesn't look like it's gonna work. It's my phone. But there's a bunch of kids. Why is it not working?
Oh, you know why? Because you have the blur on your background up. so
Oh,
that
okay,
means-
let me take that off. How do I do that?
That I don't know, because you can see I don't blur my background. You
Ah,
guys get stuck
found it.
looking, feeling.
there.
There we go. You can see how crowded it did get. So we
Yeah, I have
have,
another one that's really crowded too.
oh,
hang
it
on,
looks like
sorry.
Dana is calling in. Anthony, can you make note that Dana is coming in, I think at 5:07? Dana, we're talking about agenda item 2, the community outreach at the farmer's market. And Terry's showing some pictures of the kids lining around Eric and doing, exploring screen printing.
We also handed out, what, about
Thank
23?
you guys for,
Didn't we hand out about 23 art notices about the next art exhibit that we've got coming?
we actually, so the last about hour, I know that Dana and Janet and Terry had to go, and Lucy stuck around, I think, till 7:30. But the last hour, when it got a little cooler, like it was 104 degrees, we had a lot more families show up, and the kids were trying their hand at screen printing and taking the flyers for our next call for art, which we're going to discuss a little bit later. But I handed out, and Lucy handed out a ton of those at the event. The only 3 farmers market surveys, I think it was just so that it was difficult to, interact with the public. And hopefully if we ever do this again, it won't be 106 degrees. From the 3 we got, everyone said they agree that they enjoy seeing art in the community, and they agree seeing art in downtown Los Altos. Or they like seeing art in the park. 2 of the 3 said they had not seen the Art Commission's community gallery center. People said modern art, and person not say. One piece of feedback we got is that the Wave and Heritage Oaks Park does not have a name tag on it. So that's something to follow up with John on, and I can talk to him about that. And one person said they really like rock, paper, scissors. And that they also are wondering what happened to, what was the bus that was in, I'm blanking on the name, the one that's in Veterans Plaza.
Walter Singer.
Yeah, someone was asking where Walter Singer was, and I explained that that's now part of the city's responsibility, not the Art Commission. So, and someone said they want to see more sculptures and murals. So hopefully, like I said, next year, if we do it again, it won't be so hot, and we can get a little more feedback, and we may want to think about doing a more formal survey going forward. Before we move from this, was there anything else anyone wanted to add? Okay.
I think those who
Didn't-
were there really.
So let's go on to agenda 3, sculpture. I think they did too. I think they had fun. And Eric being a teacher, he's good with the kids, he's good with adults, and he allowed people to try their hands. So I thought that was good.
He was.
I have a
Let's
question.
go on to
Oh, sorry, Monica,
Item
can I
3,
ask
the
a question?
sculpture maintenance evaluation. Sorry, Jenna?
Yeah, sorry, can you hear me okay? I'm
Yes.
walking around my house trying to find service. Okay. How did we disperse the brochures? Did those work out okay? What were those like?
We started the evening where there was almost no one at the farmer's market folding brochures. And I have a pile of folded brochures in my house, and just like the survey, we gave out a couple of the brochures, but it was just literally, I mean, standing up was painful. So hopefully we have better luck
The
at the next
brochures
event.
turned out great.
They look really good, but it was just,
beautiful.
I
And then that
think,
poster was really beautiful. I think it really drew a lot of people in. That beautiful poster you made, Jenna. That was really beautiful too. So.
I think that was Janet who made the poster.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
Janet.
sorry. I'm sorry,
awesome.
sorry, Janet. It was beautiful, Janet. I thought it was spelled Janet.
I agree with you though. It definitely is like very eye-catching. Important that we have that.
So I think for our next community engagement activity, because we have a good poster and we have some good brochures, and we also can probably solicit feedback from our survey at that time. So I just think it was unfortunate. The farmer's market, it was A, so hot, and B, wasn't as widely attended as it normally is, because I normally go at like 4, 5, 6 o'clock, and it's usually very crowded. So any other points or questions? Okay. On to our sculpture. You know what? Let me go grab, I think I printed out some information about the sculpture evaluation. Give me 1 second. Check my printer. Okay, apologies. I did not print it out, and I don't want to
I
make
did,
people wait
Monica.
for me.
I can go over it with you if you'd like.
Oh, it's not the one that we paid for, but I actually took an action item at the last meeting to contact other cities as far as who they've used for sculpture maintenance. So before we actually discuss the bid that we got, I just wanted to say a couple things. One is that most art programs, most public art programs, when they have an ordinance, a percent for art, they have an allocation mandated for maintenance, which we do not. And that last year's budget, we had 35,000 allocated for maintenance, and this year we have 30. So we do have money. So I know some of these numbers seem kind of eye-popping, but we do have money that's allocated for maintenance. And the other thing I wanted to mention is I spoke to the people who run the public arts program in Palo Alto. They gave me feedback that they've used the company, I think it's Preservation Arts, that did our bid. They've had good luck with them. And they also said that you buy a piece, and this is a little late for us, but when you buy a piece, you can put into the contract that within a time that the artist, if there's a problem, the artist can either be paid for their time to fix the problem. So again, we're a little late to the game on that, but for future pieces. And I also spoke to, and forgive me, I don't remember his name off the top of my head because I don't have the piece of paper printed, but the guy who runs cultural affairs for the city of San Jose. And he said that these numbers for maintenance are a little eye-popping. It's kind of a black art. Each piece of sculpture is a different material, a different size, has different requirements, and that it's pretty normal for the price is to be high because you want it done right and you want it, done once and done right. That said, Anthony, do you have a copy of the bid from Preservation Arts? I think it was part of the packet.
Yes, I can share my screen if you'd like.
Okay. And the one last thing I wanted to suggest, since we have 65,000 to put towards maintenance, there's 5 pieces that were surveyed. 4 of them are owned by the city, one's on loans. The one on loan, we're just going to disregard for now. What I'm thinking is that there's a couple fan favorites in the packet that were surveyed, 2 of them by the main library. I think that if we started with those 2, because nothing is falling over. So the good news is hopefully it won't hurt any of these. But I think if we go a little bit further down, past this red one, past that one, past Jasper Priestess, which is on loan. So can you make it a little bit bigger? There we go, the fish, the magic fish. That was done by Hardy Jones. That one needs maintenance, and then the 2 giraffe animals outside of the children's section of the main library also need maintenance. So I'm thinking if we start with those, because like I said, they're kind of fan favorites, they get viewed by a lot of people pretty close up. I think the other 2 that are owned by the city, people see them when they drive by, they don't usually walk right by them. So they're, they don't see the damage. But I'm open to suggestions or feedback or other ideas.
That makes sense to me.
Okay.
Definitely or close up. Yeah.
Anybody else?
Are there,
I agree. That way we can see how well this team does. And if we think they're doing a good job, then I think we can consider doing the other 2, but I think we should start with those 2. They're also the least expensive repairs.
That too.
that all makes sense to me. I just have a question. Are there any pieces that are in dire need of repair?
I'm going to look towards the folks who are on the subcommittee who initially looked, which includes Terry. When you went out
Yes,
there,
musical gamble is structurally stable. There is corrosion. So that one is not at risk. And then Imagine That is also structurally stable, so it's not at risk. However, the one that's on the screen right now is very loose. Even though they say it's structurally stable, they say both sculptures are detached from their base and are at risk of loss. So I think that we should definitely do, what's the name of that one? Zooscapes. We should definitely do Zooscapes. And then Magic Fish, there's a lot of corrosion underneath the paint, but they say it's structurally stable. So that's why I think the damage on these 2 smaller pieces is, I would say, bigger than the 2 big pieces percentage wise. So that's why I think it would be good to do those 2 first, because then we can make a good assessment on number 1, how the repairs went, and number 2, how long it took them. Are we comfortable with what they did? And if so, then we can, move to do the next. But none of them are structurally at risk, according to the report.
Thank you.
except that you're saying that Zooscapes, that they're detached. Well, the report says they're detached, which is a little disturbing.
but they say it's just, they say it's structurally stable because what happens is there's a rod that goes up
Mm.
into them. So the pieces at the bottom aren't, they're moving around a little bit, but it's not gonna fall over. Unless, of course, somebody comes up with a very large person and yanks on them maybe, but I don't think that'll happen.
So it sounds
I'll make a motion.
like we're in agreement that Zeus, okay. Go ahead, Terry.
I'd like to make a motion that the art commission hire Preservation Arts to do the repairs as indicated in the report to Magic Fish and Zooscapes.
I'll second.
Second. I second.
Anthony?
Who was it that seconded? I want to make sure I get that down.
Lucy.
Okay.
I think I actually beat Lucy to the punch.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, it's yours.
Okay, perfect. Chair Waldman, you seconded it.
Yes.
And how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay. Let me take you off of screen share so I can see the names easier. That's the easiest way. Commissioner Couture,
Yes,
Commissioner Corrigan,
Yes.
Commissioner Tasic,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Janjigian.
Yes.
Passes unanimously.
Community Center, receive report from the Community Center Arts Subcommittee. We have a call for children's art out there. We gave out flyers at the farmer's market 2 weeks ago on September 8th. I sent John information to put it in the city manager's weekly update. I have not seen it in the weekly updates.
it was in the
so,
weekly update last week.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah,
then-
I
then
don't know about this
fan-
week. I haven't seen this week.
Maybe if we could have it republished, Anthony, if you, is that allowed with the city manager's update to republish a piece of information?
Yes, I can talk to our public information officer and get it in there again.
That would be perfect. And then Jenna, if you're able to get off mute, you've talked to a couple of the schools and tried to get the word out. So
Yeah. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes,
yes, yes.
Great. Yes, so I reached out to all of the public schools in Los Altos. I also reached out to the one public school in Los Altos that's in Cupertino's school district. And I don't know if you want me to bring up the issue with that, Monica, but
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
okay, so our verbiage originally was that we wanted to include children that were enrolled in Los Altos School District or residents of Los Altos. However, Montclair is an outlier because it's located in Los Altos, but some of the residents don't live in Los Altos. So I don't want to exclude children that submit entries that might go to Los Altos, but say live in Sunnyvale or Cupertino. And I'm even, there are outliers even in Los Altos School District, like teachers, children sometimes attend the school and they don't live in Los Altos. So I just want to be really mindful of that. So I guess going forward, we need to change the verbiage to say children attending a Los Altos school. Yeah, so anyways, so I did reach out to all of the principals and I was surprised to get responses, ironically, not from my own principal, but 4 or 5 principals reached out. I think Springer, Covington, Almond, and then there was one more, I forget. And they all said that they would put the event in their newsletter and that they would also discuss it at their weekly meeting, their teacher conferences. So yeah, it seems like we're getting a lot of great feedback, that they were all very enthusiastic about it. That's all.
Thank you. And I was going to mention, I need to talk to the Park and Rec folks, the city staff, to have them put it on the,
Sorry.
to have it put on the screen in the community center, as well as get some flyers made available in the community center. So I have that as a note for me to do. And then anything else on that particular topic? I think we're just waiting to, Lucy and Lucy, we're not supposed to take phone calls during meetings, whether it be a commission meeting or city council meeting, so. Even if you're on mute, unless it's, I guess, a family matter, emergency. Okay. I think this might be the fastest meeting we've ever had. Anthony, you lucked out here. Any informational items from the city that we need to know about?
I don't believe so. John should be back for your regularly scheduled programming next meeting.
Okay,
So
okay.
I was just a temporary stopgap for the time being.
Well, you did a wonderful job.
Thank you, guys.
So let's move on to commissioner reports and comments. I have two comments. One is the T2 or tower outside the community center was not lit up at night. I was there at night, and it also does not have a name tag on it. So we definitely have a couple pieces that do not have, a name tag is probably not the right word, a plaque or a informational piece right by the piece. So especially because we're buying that piece, we should definitely get that put in.
Monica, it might be that the sun is going down much earlier and setting or coming up later. So maybe they have it on a timer that just needs to be checked. I don't know. I'm just making that note.
That could be. I was out there about 8:15 on a Friday, so there was no light on it. But you're right, it used to be light at 8:15, so that could be the case. But maybe I'll try and touch base with the Park and Rec folks.
If I'm ever out that late, I'll go check.
All right.
I can check with our maintenance team as well.
Okay, perfect. And I believe commissions have November 1st, a meeting. We each meet for 15 minutes, a half hour with the city council. Correct, Anthony?
I do know that happens annually. I believe it would probably happen right after commission appointments. So that would make sense that it's November.
Okay. So I'll start on some slides, and then perhaps we can review them at the next meeting before the meeting with the city council. And then just to remind, next meeting, hopefully we're going to be able to go through our call for art for sculptures and for kids art. So it could be a long but a fun meeting. So I'll make a note to start working on the slides.
Yeah, Monica, I just want to say, so I believe the call to art, the submission are due October 13th, right? And then our meeting is October 27th. I guess that's when we'll go over
okay.
everything. Is there, I believe there's the dates. Is there a way that we can, maybe Anthony, maybe you can get this, but do you have the final flyer? Because I was trying to find it. I was trying to direct a sculptor to it, and I wasn't able to find it on the webpage. So, or if we just have the flyer, I could just email them the flyer just to make the date.
I will get the flyer and I'll send it out to the group once I am able to find it.
Thank you. So then just from a procedural standpoint, October 13th is the deadline. How will we then get all of the information, or do we just get all the information on October 27th during the meeting and then we all go through it together?
It should come out as part of the packet, which
Okay,
gets
so that'll be the
published
first time
ahead
we
of time.
see it. Okay, so that'll be the first time we see all of the entries.
And we get the email like a week before.
the email with the entry?
oh,
Or, sorry, we don't get the email. We get the email that says we have the meeting. And then if you go on the website, you'll find it
Yeah,
all.
then we have the packets, yeah. Okay, yeah, so that's when we see them. Okay, thank you.
And it may take John a little bit of time because he's going to be getting stuff from Cafe, and he's going to be getting stuff from an email as well. So it's a little bit of a task. So we'll have to be patient with him to get that together. But I do want to ask that everybody look at the packet prior to our next meeting, because we should, hopefully, if all goes well, we will have a lot to review. And that means that it's easier if you go through things ahead of time and say, no, 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 yes, as opposed to us going through each one.
And
It'll
when
be
we
a
do our
fast
pre-review,
process.
Monica, when we do our pre-review, Monica, are we thinking not just about what sculpture we want to pick, but also the location? Is that where we're going to discuss that?
We should, because the last time it was the previous rendition of the commission, and we were like kids in a candy store, yes, 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 with no thought about where to put them. Maybe we did discuss it a little bit, but we had two people terming out, so they were like, yes, 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 your problem now. So if you can think of where it might be, what might be a good spot, that would be great. And do remember, just like this round, that we might pick 10 things and only 6 can make it out. Either the person's on the East Coast, they get sick, their life happens. So even if we pick X number of things, we may not be getting X number. So a little bit of a buffer is always good. But it's usually a fun process, and I'm excited for everyone to go through it for their first time. So
Yeah, and we had identified, I guess, some spots with John of where there's open spaces, where there's already platforms, and where something might go more easily without having to build.
yeah, there was one that we didn't get, One-Eyed Jack, that was supposed to go on, was it First and Edith, I think, and that spot's been sitting empty for a while. I would love to see something there. But I am just one vote. I'm not dictating where something goes, but hopefully it'll be a fun process. Does anyone have any other comments or future agenda items? I see Janet's hand up. Go ahead, Janet.
So I don't know if you want to discuss this now, but at the last meeting, the commission formed a subcommittee of me and Commissioner Moore to discuss the next community art events. And so we met, and so we have some ideas that we could run by you for Q4 and Q1 2023 events.
Anthony, can they discuss that now, or does it have to be put on the agenda?
I believe it would have to be agendized, so we can
Yeah,
add,
because we haven't publicized it.
we can add it to, I know next meeting may be full, so either next meeting or the following meeting, we can add it to the agenda.
I think being that next meeting is in the Q4 timeframe, I think it's important we can give it some time.
Great,
I'll
thank
see
you.
how we feel after going through all the call for art stuff too, but I think it's important.
Okay,
And we have all those brochures ready to go, so. All right, on that note, anything else before we say good night or good afternoon? I guess it's good night. And I guess happy first day of fall, and
Yeah,
see.
6:05 is the time.
okay, well, it gave us time to go ahead and run amok, and everybody have a good month.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank
Anthony.
you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.